Welcome back to Give 'em Truth Ministries. This is Truth Talk, and sitting next to me is a guy that's not going to be in all of them. He wasn't in all of them. He wasn't in last week's.
Well, might have been in 3 out of 4.
But he's been in most of them or whatever. That's just because if it's the weekend, we're pretty much always together. That's the way it works, because we got a lot of other ministry things that we do with Let's Talk, and just did some 5 minutes with the pastor and the other stuff that we do and talking about the church. The pastor's got to get together and talk about the church. But anyway, this is Give 'em Truth Ministries, so thank you so much for tuning in again. And we got some good news, actually. One of the things that we've really been praying about at our church is this, I guess we'll call it the mandate. Everybody will know what we're talking about, because there's key words where YouTube will just completely take you off.
It may take you off for that word.
That may take me off for that word, but that's cool.
That's why he's going to get a rumble soon.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah. I'm trying to get more steady with these, but that revival really set me back, because that was awesome.
Everybody was tired, but everybody had a good time.
Everybody was wore out for a little while after that. It took a lot out of everybody. But so, talking about the mandate, we had been praying at our church there for, prayed quite a few times, or a few times at least anyway, that, that it wouldn't see the light of day, and that God would intervene and something would happen. And that's exactly what we saw happen. The courts, at least for the meantime, have stopped it, and OSHA pretty much suspended it, and then the so-called administration that's in the White House has, for the most, from what I understand, have also pretty much suspended it for the time. And honestly, I don't know, Trenton, if they'll try to pick it back up again and try to run with it again or not, because it got shut down fast, because they seen how unconstitutional it was. And I'm not trying to get too political on here or whatever, but it really was. It just, any small amount of research, and you'll see that thing, if the laws were followed the way they should, it was going to fall flat on its face. And that's really what we prayed, is that it wouldn't see the light of day and that it would fall flat on its face. So I don't know where you stand on that side of the issue. I know where I stand. I'm a firm believer, and if you want to partake in that certain thing, me and my family have chosen to not partake in that. I'm just going to say it. We've chosen not to get the shot. I believe that it should be a choice. I personally don't want it. If you want it and you believe that it's good for you and your family, then that's your choice, and you have the right to believe that. As an American, you have every right to do that. So, Trent, you got anything you want to say?
There was no grounds for the mandate, none whatsoever. There was no way legally that could pass a U.S. Constitution. Regardless of which side of the fence you're on, that should have opened some eyes, because you got to understand, we live in a free country, and it is free choice on whether you want to take any type of vaccination, because you are dealing with your own body, your own medical. You decide what you want to do. My family, me and Brett's in agreement. None of us are going to take it. Don't got any plans to take it in the future. If the mandate would have went, we would have been those that would have possibly lost our jobs, because I'm not taking a vaccination that doesn't work according to the statistics a lot. But
my big thing with it is even with anything, there's certain medicines that I have to take with having diabetes and things like that I read, okay, side effects, what's this, what's that, what's this going to do? But a lot of those things have been tried and tested for years before they're ever put out on the market. And that's one of the big things right now that scares me, and is that we don't know what this thing's going to do in 3 to 5 years or 10 years or a year. We don't know. We don't have any idea. And I wasn't willing to subject my body to that, and I wasn't going to subject my wife to that. Or, they're trying to really push this thing on kids, and I'm not going to subject my kids to something that I don't know what it is. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't think I'd be a very good father if I'm just like, yeah, here, use her as a guinea pig. I wouldn't want that for anybody.
Well, let's just be honest. The science even says that those who've had it, which both of us have, and our families, at least our wives and us, have had it, and have a 13 times greater chance of not getting it than someone that's vaccinated. So why would we take the vaccination, is the way I looked at it. So once again, we're not doctors, but we're just looking at the evidence that's been put before us by the scientists who are doctors looking at this stuff.
So with that said, guys, we'll end this portion of it with just simply saying, do what you want to do. If you're watching this, you're probably grown and you're smart enough to make your own decision. Pray about it, and you do whatever you feel is right. But I am personally thankful that when something come up that said, well, hey, we're going to take your job if you don't do this, that's a pretty good indication that it's probably not something that I want to partake in as, number one, as a believer, but also as an American who believes that we people have fought and died for the rights, and I'm very thankful that people have fought and died for me to have the right to do that, to say no or to say yes. That's my choice, and it's your choice. So with that said, guys, me personally, I'm thankful for what's happened. I hope it continues, that stops, it's dead in the water, and we don't have to hear no more about it. So
we talked about that. Thanks to the veterans too. We just passed Veterans Day not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, whatever. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you fighting for our rights so that we do have the right to choose. So thank you for that. God bless each and every one of you.
And with saying thanks,
Thanksgiving
is coming up. So,
can't forget that.
And this will probably go up Thanksgiving. I may put this up on Wednesday. That way it's up before Thanksgiving. So with that said,
well, that would make sense, especially if we say Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Happy Thanksgiving to you guys out there. We hope that you have had a blessed year. I'm thankful this year because, we had COVID this year, and it hit me pretty hard. So that's, I'm never going to say that it was fake. I had something. Now, it felt like the flu, but it felt like a really weird, it felt like a man-made in a lab flu is what it felt like, because it didn't feel real, because I had so many strange symptoms that I've never had before. Like, I couldn't even wear a shirt one day because my back was so tingly and hurt so bad. Then the next day that was gone, and then I had something else. And then the next day that was gone, I had something else. I'm like, this is a nightmare. So there was something, and the way I describe it to people, even people that I work with who haven't had it, that ask about it, and I'm like, it was the worst flu I ever had, but it felt like it wasn't natural. It wasn't a natural sick like the regular flu, influenza A or B or anything like that, or the stomach flu type thing. It felt like it was completely twisted. That it was the flu, like the twisted flu, is really it's kind of how I explain it. It just didn't feel normal. And so I'm just thankful that I've come through that. My family came through it. My kids are healthy. Me and my wife are both healthy. And I'm looking forward to eating some food.
Turkey, ham, whatever it is you guys do. Casseroles. I'm a casserole guy. But on the note of the other, we wouldn't have known we even had it, except loss of taste and smell. So see, it's just a matter of your history, your body, your choice.
And it affects people so differently. And I ended up going into the hospital for a little while because it got in my stomach, and I just got sick. I got real sick. And my wife, she felt sick, but she got over it a little easier than I did. It hit me harder, probably because of the diabetes, which I am getting that more under control. I've actually lost a couple of pounds in just probably within the last 3 weeks. I've noticed some changes, so I'm doing better in that, because that is something that scared me. I was like, wow, one thing made another sickness even worse. So I'm trying to get that more under control so where I can get off these medicines and things like that, because I'm not at a place where it's gonna kill me right now. Right now I'm at a place where I can still beat it and control it. So y'all pray for me in that, because I am working hard and I am trying to stay away from the stuff that tastes good, and we are at the wrong time of year for that. So
nextlevelfreedomchurch.com. Make sure you hit up the website. You want more information.
Had to work that in, didn't you?
I threw that right in there, didn't I? Hit us up.
So, we wasn't going to talk about COVID today, but that's what we talked about, and being thankful. So it all worked out or whatever.
That's another thing I'm thankful for this year. I think I talked about this on one of the other shows we just recorded. Last Thanksgiving's when I had COVID, so I couldn't taste or smell the food that I was eating, and we were quarantined. So I am going to be thankful just to eat and taste the food this year. So
you know what you should be thankful for?
What?
Is last year at this time you didn't have an associate pastor, and now you do.
Associate Pastor Brett Heilman.
See how I worked that in there?
Yeah, he works and plugs in too. Let's Talk with Trenton and Brett. Might as well plug them all right there. Kick out that podcast.
5 minutes with the pastor. I was going to say you'll be seeing me more, but you'll be hearing me more. I don't know if it'll be every one of them. I don't know what we're gonna do there. I'm sure Pastor Trenton will be on with me with some of them, and he'll be doing some of his own probably too as well. Make sure you check all this stuff out, guys, because we don't do this just because we think it's fun. Of course, we do think a lot of it's fun, but we do it because we want to get the message out. We want to promote the church, which there's nothing wrong with that. We want to build our church and grow our church, because that's what we need. That's what you're supposed to do, is to get people in so you can minister to them and help them. And one of the cool things, I think we can take another minute too if we need to, but one of the coolest things I think we've been seeing, Trenton, is people that are coming in off the streets. And we've seen this with the revival. I don't want to get too many details, but we were able to help one lady who had just come in off of the street. We were able to get her some help, and there was another gentleman that had come in, just kind of walking in off the street, that has continued to come to the church. I'd say pretty faithfully. He's there most Sundays and Wednesdays, and so we're seeing a lot of cool things like that we're able to help people that are just, hey, what's going on? Where'd the tent come from? And
coming off the street, new faces are starting to pop in. So
a lot of cool stuff happening.
That's the move God's doing right now. I mean, you guys gotta get ready, church. If you aren't seeing it, well, you need to open your eyes, because God is doing some big things right now. And this is a perfect time of year to be celebrating that. We're thankful now. And next month we'll celebrate the birth of our Savior. Amen. So I look forward to that as well. Easiest way to catch any of the podcasts, anything we just talked about, is go to the website, nextlevelfreedomchurch.com. You've got the Next Level Freedom Church podcast and the Let's Talk podcast. Both of those can be accessed right there on the website. If you can't get the .com to work, sometimes it doesn't want to work, you can get the .org. So nextlevelfreedomchurch.org takes you to the same place. So,
all right, guys, with that said, thank you for tuning in to Give 'em Truth Ministries. That's get 'em. In other words, go out and get them. Go out and bring them into the church. Go out and get them saved. Just go out and get them and give them what they need, and that is the gospel. And bless them in any way that you possibly can. So thank you for tuning in.
That's Truth Talk.
And that's Truth Talk right there.
That's Truth
Talk. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. And we will be back hopefully next week with another episode. All right, guys. God bless.
God bless.
And we, or I, one of us, maybe both of us, will see you next week.
All right.